it's Spence, the evil genius, from Widget Laboratory with your lab secrets tip of the day. Well, today we're giving you a twofer in our tutorial series that's going through the settings menu in the admin dashboard. We're going to cover privacy and permalinks. Privacy is pretty easy. You basically have two options. Do you want to have your blog visible to search engines, or do you not? What would be the reason why you would not? Well, probably twofold. One is if you're just first setting up your site and you're not really ready to be indexed because your content isn't fully installed, then that would be a great reason not to have it indexed. Second of all would be if you have a private site. If you basically have a members only subscription site and you don't want to go through the trouble of having a bunch of people bouncing off the front door, then you can go ahead and avoid that as well. For many of the people that use this, it's going to end up being, yes, I would like it visible, at least insofar as once they've set it up. So depending on your choice, be sure to click Save Changes and you are done. Now, next choice will be the Permalinks menu. Permalinks, one of the most basic and most important parts of setting up your new Lab Secrets solution site. Let me give you an example. When you go to the menu the first time, it'll be set to default, but that's so very 1999. This is the URL that your pages are going to show in the blog. Well, that's kind of hard for both human beings to read, and it's very bad for SEO purposes because there's no information, there's no keywords, there's nothing in there that can be indexed in order to draw traffic back to your site. So for most of our beginner users, we recommend using the day and name format or the month and name format. The main difference is that in the day and name, you have the URL or the domain URL, and then you've got the year, the month, and you then have the day of the month. You then have the actual name that you put into the title section when you're writing the blog. Now, this is great for a couple reasons. First of all, it gives a lot of information about when you published, and then second of all, it tells you what the title is, which also contains information about what the blog post is about. If you go with the month and name format, it's just a little shorter, still very informative, and then also, of course, you have the title. Why would you choose one over the other? Probably if you're a daily blogger, I'd go with the day and name because that's going to distinguish the posts individually. If you go with, let's say, a couple times a week or every month, something updates, obviously go with this format. For most people, avoid the numeric format because that's not really helpful unless you just really want to have a list of blog number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last but not least, you can set up custom structures. This is for the power users in our bunch. You'll notice there's a link right here that lets you see, if I open in a new window, all of the power tags that you can use. They're actually called structure tags. I like to call them power tags. And this allows you to design your own permalink structure. You can use any of these tags, and again, if you're a power user, you'll know what to do. It's really actually pretty simple. Basically, the tags look like this with the two percentage signs on either side, and they're separated by the slashes. So in this case, the example is I want to have it say domain name, then /year, /month number, /post name. If I wanted to, I could get rid of the month number, and I would just have, for example, URL structure or permalink structure that said, I got to get rid of that one tag that said year and post name. So it would be 2010 / yada, yada, yada. And last but not least, we've got the option of adding a custom structure. And there's an example of how this works here. But basically, you could set a category base that will precede all of the URLs for your blog. So let's say, for example, you wanted to have it known that you were in the blog section. I could go ahead and type something like blog or blogs. And then my URLs or domain name URLs would always come out to be domain name /blog, in this case topics, /post information. So if I had, let's say I went with day and name and I used a category base of blog, my structure would end up looking something like this. Friday.com/blog/ they have here 2010-06 09 / yada, 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 yada. Now, I'm not suggesting you should put that in there. You should just see that that's what it's going to end up looking like. What you put in there is what you want to use as that base. Lastly, you could do the same thing for tag base. Let's say you've got some tags that you're using all the time. Let's say featured. You can go ahead, put that in, and that will precede all of the URLs. We're out of time for this tutorial. See you on the next one.